What do you know when your pet's not well? Do you know the signs to look for? Well, here to help us out is Dr. Joe Sillince, CEO of Pets Australia. Joe, our pets are pretty good at hiding things, so would you agree that most pets don't really show the signs that they're unwell, do they?
Oh, yes, they do.
Do they?
In plenty of different ways. But let's just talk about major problems, okay, as compared to minor skin conditions and a few fleas.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about major problems in older animals, we're thinking about things like diabetes, kidney disease, cancers, heart disease, autoimmune disease, and some of those beautiful hormonal things that tend to beset animals as they get older. And a lot of these are chronic in as much as it comes on slowly, so you're seeing them every single day and you don't notice. So one of actually a reasonable indicator that something chronic's happening is when somebody that hasn't seen the animal for a while, a visitor or a guest or, dare I say, a relative wanders in and says, "Oh, he looks different."
Ah.
And
Okay.
you haven't noticed it because it's been creeping up on you.
Right.
But they notice it because the last time they saw the animal was quite different. So the first sign of longer-term major issues really is demeanour. Now, I know you guys actually saw that.
Yeah.
The animal was acting a bit wacky and was starting to forget a few things.
Yeah.
And it turned out that part of that was reduced blood flow to the brain. So if you've got an older pet that looks like it's got Alzheimer's, it may well have, although it's not Alzheimer's, it's changing blood flow and aging brain cells. And as our pets get into older age, of course, you start to see strokes and some of those beaut vascular things that humans get too. So don't rule out demeanour, okay?
Right.
If they're a bit flat, and I used to hear that a lot, "Oh, look, I wasn't going to bring him in, but he just looks flat." And I don't mean that literally, okay?
Okay.
There's a couple of things that are not good indicators, okay? The first not good indicator is food. I've seen animals with absolutely deadly cancers riddled up to the eye teeth, stuffing their faces with food right up until
Really?
the day before they died.
Wow.
And I've seen cats with very minor illness go completely off their food. So food is not a good indicator.
Ah.
The other one that's not a good indicator in dogs is hot nose or dry nose. How often I've heard
Cold,
that?
wet nose. Oh, must be healthy.
Oh my
How
God, the
often do you
dog's
hear
dying.
that?
He's got a dry nose. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Dry noses is just a matter of the animal not secreting enough around its nose. And
Right.
dry noses can happen at any time of the day or night. Hot noses, if they stay hot for a very long period, then feel the skin. It's the skin that's hot.
Uh-huh.
Noses can go quite warm all by themselves, but when the skin is hot too, it's often an indicator of fever.
Do you feel the pads of the feet or something, or
Yeah, again.
anywhere on the skin?
Again, an animal with fever will be hot all over, okay, and will also be quite flat, and I mean that demeanour-wise. And the trick is to make sure that there isn't any chance of hypothermia, okay, because that'll make them hot too. So if unless they've been lying in the sun, there's probably a fever. Look, the second thing to look at with older animals where you're worried about chronic disease really is exercise tolerance. And that's a dead giveaway, right? They won't want to get up. They won't want to go for a walk. They won't go as far on the walk. In cats, you'll find them not moving about, like, you know, how cats often sleep from place to place. I call it mobile sleep, but, and they'll often just stay vegetative in the same place. And that's a bit unusual for a lot of cats. Yeah, they'll be a bit slow getting up for dinner. They're just not into the exercise. Have a look at their gums. Gums are a really good indicator. Real white gums is an issue. Brick red gums is an issue unless they're terribly hot and cooling down after a big run. Yellow gums is a good indicator of liver disease. So gums are quite useful. Dry gums are often a good indicator of dehydration.
So they should be pink.
They should be pink.
So they should be pink, not yellow, not red, not white.
But
Okay.
the amount of pinkness depends on your own animal.
It's
So
very subtle,
say
isn't it?
hello to their gum occasionally so you know what normal looks like.
Say hello to a gum.
Well, they keep saying we should be brushing teeth, and I did buy doggy toothbrushes, but I have to admit that they're not that fussed on it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
The other one to have a look at is stance. How are they standing? And if your animal is a bit tucked up and the demeanour is off, it can be an indicator of all sorts of things, but definitely worth checking out. It can be kidneys, or it can be guts, or it can be liver, or it can be spine. And if it's tucked up and bites when it normally wouldn't be biting, then it's hurting.
So tucked up, do you mean they're trying to pull their chest up, or
if you look along the line of the spine of most animals when they're standing, it's reasonably straight. So it comes down from the neck and a little bump across the shoulders, and then it dips down ever so slightly. When they hunch, you'll often notice a little hill between the shoulders and the hips. So that's hunched up, and they'll often be quite tense. The stomach muscles will be tense and stuff. So stance is useful. In animals with congestive heart failure, you'll often see them standing, your word, like a bulldog, with their elbows turned out and a little more forward than usual. So they actually look like they're sort of, about to go and get all buffy and attack something.
Yeah,
see,
this is what prompted this whole story. We had no idea. We used to laugh. We'd go, "Oh, look, Cosmo's got his
Hello, bulldog,"
he's standing
we
like
used to
a
say.
bulldog," and never
we
stood
actually
like that.
we actually thought it was because of our ignorance with diet from day one, where I think you mostly, I'm not blaming you, but I'm just saying, where Kay mostly fed him chicken wings and bones and whatever, and he really loved them, of course, and we thought, oh, this is good, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, look, when they're standing like that routinely, and they're older and their exercise tolerance is a bit down and they're a bit forgetful, it's often a good indicator to go and get that heart checked out.
There we go. So some good advice from Dr. Joe Sillince from Pets Australia.
Great advice. And, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I still feel guilty about some of the things I probably missed with some of our now past doggies, but I don't think they would hold it against me.